All right, let's talk about a hormone that, honestly, most people get wrong, estradiol. Yeah, you've probably heard it called the female hormone, but its story is so much more complex. And you know what? It's essential for every single one of us.
So let's just kick things off with a big question, one that really gets to the heart of it all. What if that hormone you've always associated with women was actually a critical, non-negotiable player in the health of men too? Well, spoiler alert, it absolutely is.
Okay, so let's get our definition straight. Estradiol isn't just any estrogen, it's the main one, the most powerful form we have. It's a steroid hormone, and our bodies actually build it from cholesterol. But the most important part is right there. It is essential for both females and males, no exceptions.
To really get a grip on what it does, you first have to ask, well, where does it even come from? And it turns out, the production sites themselves are a huge clue to just how widespread its importance really is.
This is where it gets really fascinating. You see, in premenopausal women, the ovaries are the main factory pumping it out. But in men, the testes only make a tiny little bit. The vast majority actually comes from what we call peripheral tissues, places like our fat cells, our brain, even our skin. And look at that. Those exact same tissues take over production for women after menopause, too.
So how on earth are fat cells and brain cells making estradiol? Well, they use this incredible process called aromatization. The body literally takes an androgen, like testosterone, and an enzyme just converts it into estradiol. This is happening all over the place. It's the body's genius way of making sure this critical hormone is available exactly where it's needed for everyone.
Now, in women before menopause, this whole operation is run by a super precise chain of command. Think of it like a cascade. The hypothalamus in the brain sends a signal, the pituitary gland gets the message and sends out its own signals, and those signals tell the ovaries, okay, time to produce estradiol. It's just a beautifully regulated system.
Okay, so if that's the behind-the-scenes work, what's the actual performance? Well, this is where estradiol really shines. It's like a master conductor, with crucial jobs in pretty much every part of the body.
And one of its most critical roles, for both sexes, mind you, is this one right here. Our source material calls it a guardian of bone health, and honestly, that's the perfect way to describe it.
So how does it guard them? Your body is always remodeling your bones. You've got cells that build bone up and cells that break it down. Estradiol basically tells the breakdown crew, these cells called osteoclasts, to take it easy. It puts the brakes on them. So when estradiol levels plummet during menopause, that brake is suddenly released and bone loss can really speed up. It's a direct cause and effect.
But it doesn't stop there. It's also a huge player in your heart health. It's actively working to protect your entire cardiovascular system. It helps nudge your cholesterol in the right direction, tells your blood vessels to relax so blood flows better, and even helps fight inflammation. It's pretty amazing.
And its job in the brain is just absolutely profound. It's what we call a neurosteroid, which means it actually helps keep our nerve cells healthy. Its ups and downs are directly tied to things like mood swings and PMS. And crucially, it helps run the brain's thermostat. That's why a sudden drop in estradiol is the main trigger for those infamous hot flashes.
Okay, we've hinted at this, but let's just spell it out, because this is so important. What exactly is estradiol doing for men?
The key word here is indispensable. You just can't do without it. In men, estradiol is essential for regulating libido, it protects their bones, just like in women, it supports brain function, and get this, it's even necessary for sperm to mature properly. It's not a female hormone, it's a human hormone, period.
So we know where it's made and what it does. But how does it actually send its messages to our cells? It turns out it has two totally different ways of communicating. You can think of it like a fast lane and a slow lane.
So check this out. The slow path, the genomic one, is like rewriting a factory's blueprints. Estradiol goes right inside the cell's main office, the nucleus, and changes the instructions, telling it to build totally new proteins. It's a deep, lasting change, but it takes hours or even days. Then you have the rapid path. This is like flipping a switch on the factory floor. Estradiol just latches onto the outside of the cell and instantly changes how the existing machinery works. The effect is almost immediate. We're talking seconds to minutes.
And because we understand all this incredible science, we can use estradiol in medicine. But it also makes one thing crystal clear. When it comes to hormones, health is all about the balancing act.
And you see this knowledge in action all over the place. I mean, it's the cornerstone of hormone therapy for menopause. It's a key ingredient in most birth control pills. It's used in feminizing gender-affirming care, and it's absolutely critical for supporting pregnancies during IVF.
But there's a flip side to all that power. Because estradiol is so good at telling cells to grow, it can sometimes fuel the growth of certain cancers. In fact, about 70% of all breast cancers have estrogen receptors. That means they're basically using the body's own estradiol to grow and spread.
And understanding that link leads directly to life-saving treatments. Doctors can either use drugs to physically block those estrogen receptors so the hormone can't dock, or they can use what are called aromatase inhibitors to stop that conversion process we talked about earlier, effectively cutting off the cancer's fuel supply.
And this really drives home why balance is just everything. Too much estradiol can cause a whole host of problems in both men and women, but too little? Well, that gives you that classic list of menopausal symptoms. Everything from hot flashes and night sweats to bone loss and terrible sleep.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, what's the big takeaway? It's just the sheer mind-blowing versatility. We're talking about one single hormone that's out there performing dozens of absolutely essential jobs all throughout the body.
It all boils down to this. Estradiol is so much more than a sex hormone. It's a master regulator. It's guarding our bones, protecting our hearts, fine-tuning our brains, and keeping our skin healthy. And it's doing that for every single one of us.
You know, it really is like a master conductor playing this incredibly complex symphony inside our bodies every single day. The real question is, now that we understand its music a little better, are we actually listening to what it's trying to tell us about our own health?